Evelyn, back with another pottery video. So today I wanted to do a little quick tutorial on one of my projects. This little guy, his name is Whalema. It's a whale planter pot, and it's actually surprisingly really easy, so I'm gonna teach you guys how to do it. And the cool thing about this project is that it can actually be done with or without a wheel. So I actually made this one without a wheel. I started with a pinch pot, but you can also make it on a wheel. So anybody, really anybody can make it. I'm gonna show you guys how. So let's get into it.
So like I mentioned before, you can either do the pinch pot method or the throwing method. For this video, I'm going to do the throwing method just because it's a lot faster and easier. But if you were to do the pinch pot method, all you would have to do is make a circular pinch pot like that. So when I'm throwing rounder forms, I like to center my clay in a way where it's more flat rather than tall. So it should look something like this. Here's a better shot of it. I'm not really too worried about it being completely centered just because I know that we're gonna alter it later, so it doesn't really matter that much. So basically you just open as usual, but when you're pulling, you kind of want to pull in more of a like come here type of motion. So you're gonna take your dominant hand and you're gonna drag it up the wall, and your less dominant hand is gonna like kind of curve. You can see it in the video. I'm really not good at explaining it. Hopefully that made sense. Here I'm just trimming the bottom with one of my tools and making it look more spherical, but you can also clean it up when it's off of the wheel as well. And once you get something that looks relatively like this, we are ready to move on to the next step.
So before we do anything else, I'm wetting my hands here just because it makes it easier to shape the pot. So I'm just gonna squeeze it in a way that makes it tapered because we are making the tail area right now. Once you're done, it should look something like this from the side. Here's a shot of what it looks like from the top. Kind of looks like a raindrop. Now we're gonna cut into the tapered side of the pot to make the back arch. You can make it as shallow or as deep as you want. It's all up to you. This is what it should look like from the side. And here I'm just cleaning it up by using a needle tool and then taking my other tool and scraping off the excess. But again, this is optional. Once you take it off the wheel, you can get rid of the weird side shavings. And once it's dry, you can take it off the wheel. Yes, I use dental floss as a wire cutter because I don't have an actual wire cutter, but it works great. So if you're a potter on a budget, I highly recommend. Here's what I was talking about when I said that you didn't have to clean it up when it was on the wheel. You can clean it up once it's off of the wheel. Just use your thumb to, smooth it out, any imperfections you don't want. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. Moving on to the next part, we're gonna close the tail area. So I'm just flattening out a piece of clay and I'm gonna cut out a shape that somewhat resembles the tail shape just so you can plop it on there. It doesn't have to be exact since we're gonna blend it in anyway. Once you slip and score everything, just plop your shape on there. And here's what I meant when I said it doesn't have to be exact because we're gonna blend it out anyway. Moving on to the tail, I'm flattening out a slab and then cutting it in half and then cutting a leaf kind of shape, and then I'm going to place that on top of the other half of the slab and trace it to make two of them to make the tail. Once you have your two tail pieces ready, you're just going to slip and score them on and blend them out. Be sure to flip it around and look under the tail and blend out any rough lines there as well. Once the tail is shaped to your liking, we are ready to move on to the next step. For the fins, I did the same tracing method as I did for the tail, just on a smaller scale. Once both pieces are done and ready to attach, I just wrap dental floss around to make sure that the fins will be even. And then I slip and score both the body and the fin like so and attach. Personally, I thought that the fins that I made were a little bit too big for the body, so I kind of just scraped it off and smoothed it out, and that's completely fine. Just make sure you smooth it out and then repeat on the other side. Moving on to detailing, this is 100% optional, but I like to do the little belly pattern on the whale, so this is how I do it. For the face, you're just gonna etch it in like this, and then slip and score as needed. I'm putting a happy face on my whale, but it's totally customizable. You can definitely swap out that expression for whichever expression you want. For the eyes, I just rolled 2 little balls that were the same size, and then I slipped and scored them. And then I plopped them in their respective eye sockets and pushed them in, just made sure they're secure, and it should look like this. For the mouth, I'm just rolling out a tiny coil, and then I'm plopping it on, and then I'm just squishing it in, making sure it's secure. This is the finished face. Final and optional step, I'm just adding little detailings onto the fin like so. And this is the final product.
Hopefully this tutorial was easy enough to follow. I'm sorry that things were recorded a little bit out of order. I got sick halfway through making it and things got a little bit unorganized. But if you do follow this tutorial, please be sure to tag me in it at Everamics on Instagram. I would love to see your creations. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more pottery related videos. Bye!